Alright, so boom. Big Rome on the mic. Hold on. Alright, I got my headphones on. I got my notes hot and ready like Little Caesar's Pizza. And I'm about to go live on my soundboard. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Alright. Good evening. This is January the 23rd, 2K25, man. It's evening time here in Northwest Indiana. My name is Roman Griffin Jr., otherwise known as Royal Mumanan Ra'amun Imhotep. And this is another episode of the Kingdom Performance and Wellness Podcast, man. I'm blessed to be here. I'm blessed to have another opportunity to chop it up with myself on the mic. You know what I'm saying? I've used my podcast as a bit of a audio diary type situation, and 2K25 is one of my goals to just be more, adamant about sharing the things that I talk about, bro. It get real personal on the mic, and today is no exception. I'll be going in on Donald Trump and, his new inauguration and some of the first things that he's done in the office, man. Namely, this whole situation with DEI. For those who don't know, DEI is an acronym for diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I'm gonna dive right in, man. So for those who don't know, I'm a social entrepreneur, you know what I'm saying? I have a business and I'm partnered with Holistic Evolution, and we focus on supporting young men of color, 16 to 24 specifically. So this episode is gonna be about, my reflection on how this shit could affect me and my partners and, my whole network, So yeah, that's what we're talking about, man. DEI and what the president got going on. So I'll say this first. I live in Indiana, and my mother works for the state. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Mama Griffin, Sheila. But it's like we knew a couple weeks ago what was going on in the state against DEI initiatives and programs, right? So my mom got the word a minute ago that, they about to come back to work like in the office type shit, which was a different thing that the governor of Indiana did, along with killing the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Excuse me. But so I was in the know a while ago, and I've also been in the know again because of what my business is, and like a lot of our funding comes from like the BIPOC office, I want to say. That's Black, Indigenous, People of Color. You know what I'm saying? We do a lot of work with SAMHSA and the Division of Mental Health and Addiction. But, long story short, a lot of our funding comes from, again, these initiatives, because, again, our whole thing is that we're supporting young men of color, transitional age, because of the historic and systematic difficulties that we faced, which makes us the most vulnerable position, or the most vulnerable population, today. So like that manifests in high mortality rates for Black men. That manifests in high suicide rates for Black men. That manifests in high instances of substance use. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna get into all that today, like the history of it, what DEI means, what they're trying to replace it with what I believe is merit, I'm gonna miss that one. I don't know what they're trying to replace it with right now. Merit, excellence, and something else. We're gonna do that on another episode. But again, man, so the White House put out a doc where they called, I want to say Trump, you know what I'm saying, but where they called DEI programs radical and wasteful. So again, we're talking about the Equal Employment Opportunity Act of 1972. Now, let me be clear. The Equal Employment Act of 1972, I want to say, is an amendment of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. So amendment means change, you know what I'm saying? So we had the Civil Rights Act in 1964. We know about, you know what I'm saying, the Civil Rights Movement. Boom, 10 years later, they say, we need to put this in also, you know what I'm saying, to further solidify what we're trying to do with the Civil Rights Act. Boom. All right, so it's specific to employment discrimination. You know what I'm saying? So the Equal Employment Opportunity Act is supposed to protect special populations. By that I mean race, national origin, which you understand are two different things, your gender, your sexual orientation, which you understand are two different things. But also, did I say age? You know what I'm saying? Disability. So that's 6 different protected populations, you know what I'm saying, that has been written into law that you cannot discriminate against people based on these things. You know what I'm saying? And I thought that that was important, you know. You think that when these people put these pens to the paper, you think that when they write these laws that it is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't. But, you know, I'm going to talk today about a personal experience where I fully believed and hoped that they would honor the laws that they put into place and protect me as a citizen. And it didn't go like that. You know what I'm saying? So, where am I at? I'm going to dive into my real world experience. You know what I'm saying? Personal account. I've been told a bunch of times not to talk about this, you know what I'm saying, especially in the thick of it while I was going through it. I was told repeatedly to be hush-hush about it, and in hindsight, that backfired on me because I wasn't able to reach out and get the support and the knowledge that I needed while I was going through it, you know what I'm saying, or else I could have handled it better. But I was terminated. So let me start with where I was working at. I was a security guard for the Lake County Sheriff's Department. You know what I'm saying? Them boys in brown. Anybody know Indiana? You know what I'm saying? You know the county police versus the city police. So I was working with the Sheriff's Department. You know what I'm saying? I was commissioned by the sheriff, almost like a police officer, auxiliary police officer, very much. I had a badge, you know what I'm saying? I had the gun, I had a taser, I had a bulletproof vest, you know what I'm saying? And I was working with the police side by side. So, the year is 2020 type. I just came back home from college, you know what I'm saying? Before I had finished college, you know what I'm saying? Left the crib or left where I was at in the pandemic, came home, needed a gig. This was one of the first times where I took a job outside of what I'm passionate about, you know what I'm saying, in holistic health and personal training. And it was like my first big boy job, supposedly, you know what I'm saying? My first government job, my first real 9-to-5 type shit. And I got a girl at the time. I'm trying to get a crib at the time. Like, I'm thinking I'm about to run it up with the police type. So, boom. I get into the job, right? Now, my girl pops plugged me with the job at the time. I'm going to get into it. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting all the way into it. My girl pops was a police officer, right? Plugged me with the job. When I say plug me, really no interview type shit. So, boom. I go up, woo-wop, sign all of the orientation shit. Now, I will start my story with this. I cannot cap, I cannot tell a lie. My girl Pops mentioned the only thing you gotta do to secure this job, you gotta shave. So if y'all can't tell, I'm a black man, you know what I'm saying? I'm a fully bearded, healthy bearded black man, right? He say, son, you want this job? All you gotta do is shave. I'm gonna walk you in there, we gonna get it done. Now, again, I'm with this man's daughter, and I'm broke. What the hell else? I'm like, man, I'm doing whatever I gotta do to go get this gig. Straight up, like, I'm trying to get paid. You know what I'm saying? So, I shave. I shave initially to get in the gig, right? Boom. I start the job. Job is cool. I'm a security guard. I watch the door, you know what I'm saying? I'm checking purses. Smooth. I'm learning a lot about, you know what I'm saying, the local government, being in the courthouse and all that. I like the job. They start moving me around, you know what I'm saying? I get to work in different cities. I'm working in the G, which is where I'm from, my favorite city. I'm working in Hammond. Again, I got a lot of love for the people in Hammond. I'm connected out there in Hammond, right? I'm working in Crown Point. That's the headquarters. I started noticing different vibes and different environments at the gig. You know what I'm saying? I love when they got me at the crib, again, in the 219, in the G on 5th and Broadway, because that's where I grew up at. Like, I know it. Everybody here is the smoothest possible security job. Great relationship with staff in there. I don't know as well as there's just a lot more people at the headquarters. Whiter population over here. It's a tighter ran ship. I ain't gonna cap. Obviously, this is where the sheriff at. This is where the lieutenant is at. Again, this is the headquarters, so I understand why it's ran a little bit tighter over here. So boom. In the G, in Hammond, I'm cool to let my facial hair grow. I've worked over here in the black areas for months and have, again, started like wearing different grades of my beard. Now I'm rocking the low cut, I'm rocking the low beard at the time. Well kept, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my pops, a barber. I've never been out here looking bad, just wolfing crazy on the job, you know what I'm saying? So, boom, I'm good to wear my beard in the hood. I'm not so good to wear my beard in the headquarters. That's my understanding. That's how it's been going. I've been employed here for damn near 2 years. You know what I'm saying? So throughout my employment here, I'm struggling. I'm struggling with my relationship. I'm struggling with I was struggling with my spiritual journey. You know what I'm saying? So for those who don't know, I'm very big on, again, holistic health. Like, as much as you guys see me training my body and being adamant about my mental health, I care about my spiritual health the same way. And I was having a lot of questions about myself. What type of religious practice do I want to embrace? You know what I'm saying? Like, trying to learn about any and everything, right? I'm studying Eastern philosophy. I'm studying Islam. I'm reading Malcolm X. I'm listening to Farrakhan. I'm going to church. I'm trying to go back to church. I'm doing mentoring and all this. So I'm struggling with being a mentor, just being a young man. Got a lot on my plate, you know what I'm saying? Trying to graduate college, trying to be a homeowner, a lot of stress, right? I'm dealing with depression. Not only was I depressed, I was dealing with sleep deprivation. So boom, not only was I doing the security shit, I had personal training gig, and I had a stint where I was also working at Amazon. So imagine I'm working a job overnight, another job into the morning on the weekends, and then I'm working a 9 to 5, 5 days a week. No rest at all, right? So I'm burnt out, I'm depressed, I'm sleep deprived, and it's getting to me. The shifting of like where I'm working at. So in the G, I'm cool. I can rest, I can control, I can be myself at this side of work. When I am called out to the headquarters, it's even more stressful. I'm not comfortable being in this environment over here. And for whatever reason, it manifested in me crashing out about my facial hair. Now again, this is my account. I'm gonna be all the way 1,000 buck. I have my termination letter here from Mr. Oscar Martinez in the Lake County Sheriff's Department, right? What they say they terminated me for has absolutely nothing to do with what I'm talking to you guys about. But again, I'm giving the real deal, Holyfield, ill spill account from my perspective about why I left that job, how I was feeling, and what my expectations were from my employer. You know what I'm saying? And how it didn't go that way. But let me get back into the story. So again, I'm fucked up mentally because I'm chronically working and not coping with it well. I'm doing a lot of smoking and drinking. Again, I'm really not in a good space with my relationship because I'm not dealing with this stress well. So my girl and me not seeing eye to eye, and I had a breakdown. I had a real mental health breakdown on the gig, or not necessarily on the gig, but like where I was feeling like tapping out, bro. I'm gonna say it. I was feeling like I was struggling with suicidal ideation. So I'm like killing myself, working 3 jobs, relationship ain't working. I'm in my mama basement. Nothing is looking right. Like I done took this left from what I'm passionate about in sports performance and coaching and all that. I'm like, how in the hell am I at this space in life where I'm just not feeling good? I can't even see. I'm so tired type shit. So I'm walking through the grocery store one time, and I heard a dark thought talking about giving up. And that ain't me. And I know that about myself. Let me say that again. I heard a dark thought. Sounded like somebody else's voice that say, give up. And I'm like, give up? And that was a sign for me that I needed to go get some counseling. That was the first time I started reaching out for therapy. And did that, did not have a good experience. I actually had a therapist through this job, through the sheriff's department, right? So funny, well, not funny, but being at the sheriff's department is a tough ass work environment. And ask any police officer what goes on in the minds of these public servants, bro. Look up the rate for like suicide in police departments, bro. Real deal. Like, there's a lot of men in these jobs who are not coping well with the stress of the job. I was not alone in this. And so there was a portal through the HR department to reach out for free counseling. I tried to take advantage of it. So like I said, reached out, tried to take advantage of it, and did not have the best experience. But I want to say, like, I began to think about religious exemption. So again, I'm seeking talk therapy for the first time, mental health practice. But I'm also praying, like, God, how did I get to this point in my life? What do I gotta do to get myself back on track, to shake back like? But at the same time, I was not at the best place with Christianity. And so I'm studying, like I'm looking at Rastafarianism. I'm learning about Samson and him supposedly having this strength in his hair. Again, I was studying Islam at the time. I'm listening to Minister Farrakhan, and his message was, I wrote it down. One of the things that I had heard in one of these sermons from Farrakhan, he said to be yourself, to accept yourself, because yourself is God. And that was the word of self-determination, to be who you are and to chart your own ship. You know what I'm saying? To be independent. As a business owner, as a man, was what I had heard. So I'm hearing all these things, bro, and I'm doing this job, and one day I just got tired. I got tired of these people telling me how to be in the midst of this storm that I'm dealing with mentally and spiritually. So I went into work and I just told them, super cool, I'm not shaving no more. And I would like to request an exemption from this damn facial hair policy. It would help me maintain my damn sanity, and it would help me continue to perform on this job. I ain't shaving. I had never seen the facial hair policy in the handbook with the uniform code, but my girl Pop said, you know, we like to be clean shaven around here. I said, say less. At the start, didn't realize that it was important to me until I'm in it type shit. So I said, I'm not shaving no more, man. I want to explore an exemption. I'm not trying to quit, but I want to let my supervisors know that this is a problem for me for more reasons than I can even understand. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to get into spiritual reasons, you know what I'm saying, for having facial hair. But there's the damn genetic reason for having facial hair. Like, my grandfather has this same damn beard. My father has this same damn beard. So the idea that I'm supposed to shave every week and be clean shaven for this job was not practical for me as a black man. You know what I'm saying? I could have cited pseudofolliculitis, which is the, you know, hair bumps that a black man can get when he's shaving too much. Skin irritation, which is a real thing. But it wasn't that for me, because I didn't struggle with the bad skin thing. I was struggling with my mental and my spiritual health. And I wrote a thorough letter about that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to get into, this is going to be very tough to read, actually. I want to get into the letter that I wrote, as well as the letter that the sheriff wrote me about why the hell they was firing me. I'm gonna wrap it up soon with saying that, let me get back to the story actually. So I tell them at work, like, yo, I'm done shaving. Like, I'm not doing it no more. I'm here doing the job and it's not affecting my performance. Like, that's cooked. I'm not doing that no more. You can report me. I want that because I'm requesting an exemption. I want to explore that as an option. Mind you, I watched like 5 hours one time when I had started the job of educational videos about diversity, equity, and inclusion, and about workplace harassment. It was leaning more so towards sexual harassment, but the other half of this video was talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's talking about this damn law that Trump just revoked and shit. Talking about how you have to protect special populations. The other part of that is you have to, especially on the religious tip, you have to provide what they call, what do they call that? Give me a second. Reasonable accommodation. So if you have somebody, again, when I was working at Amazon, right, they had prayer rooms off to the cut for like Islamic people. So if I'm Muslim, right, and I'm supposed to be praying 5 times a day, it is, dare I say, unconstitutional for you as an employer not to have space and time allotted for me to say my prayers. That's a real thing. That's what this law is supposed to be upholding. People's rights to be who they are spiritually, genetically, sexually, elderly, goddamn it, you know what I'm saying? It's supposed to protect these special populations. If you're a disabled person, like, so long story short, they don't even read my motherfucking letter. They don't even read my request about an exemption. They're not listening to shit I'm saying about my reasoning for why I want to be exempt from this facial hair policy that I've never seen. So, they write this fucking letter from the sheriff about insubordination and about me falsely reporting a medical exemption. That's what this letter says. I'm not gonna read the whole letter, but I was not fired for wearing facial hair because they understand that's illegal. And now I'm gonna start talking about legalese, right? They know that it's dead wrong for them to fire me for having a beard or wanting an exemption. So what they put in this termination letter was that I was fired for falsely reporting information to my supervisor. What information did I falsely report? When I went to tell my supervisor, like, yo man, I'm not shaving no more, I'm having a difficulty, and I want to request an exemption. He went and told them he say he has a medical note. I never said I had no medical note, bro. I just said I wasn't struggling with pseudofolliculitis. I don't have the skin irritation. I've been wearing my facial hair on the job. So they lied and concocted this story that I lied. And because I lied about having some sort of a medical exemption, it's time to let me go. And so I was fired. They put me in a trick bag. And so seeing this very clearly, feeling like I had, the truth and evidence on my side, I filed a complaint with who? The EEOC, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. Yeah, I tried to sue their ass. I tried to take it to the highest extent because I'm like, this is dead wrong to the letter of the law. And I know this because I watched the videos on DEI. Filed the complaint. They get back to me. Long story short, sad to say it, no surprise here, they didn't find any wrongdoing in the sheriff's department in my termination. Now, I know what it's about. It's about me not speaking legalese. It's about me not having an attorney to properly articulate what it is that I went through in that time. And that's why, it didn't go any further, But the truth is the truth, and what's right is right, and what's wrong is wrong. And I had to take that on the chin. I had to lose that job, put that job down, so that I could become who I am today in the social entrepreneur that I am. I had to go through that storm to be led to holistic evolution as a mentee. When I walked into this organization, I was a young man struggling with my own mental health and found refuge in a group, in a men's group, talking about depression, talking about trauma, talking about, again, the black man's plight. How did we end up here? There's a history of discrimination in this country. It goes slavery. It goes the Jim Crow era. It goes into the Reconstruction era. Mass incarceration. Workplace discrimination. So, for Donald Trump in 2025 to revoke this law, what are my thoughts? I'll say this. As a black man, as a young black man, it's easy to be hopeless. It's so easy to fall into not having any faith at all in this political system. I'm not somebody who votes, bro. I identify as a separatist. And I listened to a speech again from Malcolm X. When I was younger, it was called The Ballot versus the Bullet. Look it up. And Malcolm X is talking about the right to withhold your vote in the event that you feel like the who you're voting for isn't gonna have your best interest. You know what I'm saying? I'm paraphrasing. Again, go listen to The Ballot versus the Bullet yourself, Malcolm X, and figure out what you think he's saying. But all in all, my call to action here is to know yourself. You know what I'm saying? Have faith in this time, because it's only gonna get worse. No cap. Like, it's only gonna be more opposition, more adversity. Again, my position as a young black man is that I'm not surprised, and it's unfortunate, but it's like, we gotta get it out the mud regardless, yo. You know, I didn't need to see the news that he ripped it up because it wasn't protecting me in the first place. when I filed that and they called me and said, yeah, we're not going to pursue this case. We didn't find any wrongdoing in our investigation. I said, okay, I know what I got to do. I got to boss up. I got to get myself together. I got to get my mind back right. And I got to lock in and stand on business. And that's exactly what I did. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Holistic Evolution, Miss Esther. Shout out to Pastor Curtis and Faith CDC. And shout out to me and Kingdom Performance and Wellness. You know what I'm saying? I've been blessed to have a business. I've been blessed to help and support young men of color in more ways than one. And I'm looking to do more in 2K25. That's the last call to action. I said to know yourself, to have faith, and to practice group economics. Let's lock in even more partnerships. And I was talking early in this episode about my network. So throughout my experience with Holistic Evolution, being in the Capitol and being in these different trainings and meetings about diversity, equity, and inclusion, I've met a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? I've been shaking hands, rubbing elbows, and kissing babies. We need to unite. You know what I'm saying? We were struggling with funding and things before, and now that there is no office, it's really, like I said, time to just get it out the mud and to collaborate, to support each other, man, because we need it more than ever. That's the word. This is a very passionate, very on time situation. I'm going to open the floor for further questions about my experience or about this law, what it might mean for you as a black man or somebody else. You know what I'm saying? But praise God. You know what I'm saying? Thank God that no weapon formed against me shall prosper. And thank God that if he is for me, then no one can stand against me. So it's like, that's what my feelings is about this whole shit. Like, yes, I'm a separatist. Yes, I'm a black nationalist. No, I'm not voting because I don't have any confidence in these laws or in this system. And that's where I'm at with it right now. But I'm heavily invested in myself and in my community. That's what I am though. So, you know, let's keep going, man. To infinity and beyond. This was another episode of the Kingdom Performance and Wellness Podcast. I think I did my thug thizzle, man. Thank you. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Welcome to the kingdom. Namaste. Bam. I just killed that. I just killed that shit. And now I'm going to jiu-jitsu practice.